The future of solar plus batteries is closer than you think. Hey everyone, Deal here with Pacific Sun Technologies. I want to talk to you about my vision for the future of renewable energy, not just in California, but throughout America. Because if we work together, we can achieve energy independence from foreign sources and fossil fuels. But before I take you down this rabbit hole, please take a second to subscribe to my channel. Yeah, hit that button down below and don't forget to click the little bell icon. That way you receive notifications on future videos just like this one. If I get enough feedback, I might, do another video on my opinion. If you're someone interested, of course, in getting a quote for solar or adding batteries to your existing solar system, then of course, you're going to want to visit us online at pacificsuntech.com, which I've provided a link in the description below. All right, so let's talk about energy right now and how it's obtained and transmitted to our homes and businesses before we talk about the future I envision. So right now, wherever you are, the energy you're using was generated primarily from oil, gas, and coal, with a portion from wind, water turbines, and of course solar. This energy is transmitted through various utility infrastructures that's taken decades to build across the United States, be it above ground power lines or underground power lines. Now, when utilities built the infrastructure, I don't believe they ever gave thought to renewable energy on a commercial or residential level. Utilities have always had the notion that they would be the only source for consumers because they generate the power we need and would distribute it accordingly to us. And that was reasonable belief 30, 40, 70 years ago, but with the technological advances we've made in the last 2 decades, the infrastructure the utility companies built is ill-suited for what's to come. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, like I said, the utility companies generate the power and then distribute it. They know how much energy they need to create or buy to meet the demands of its customers, basically every home and business. But what happens when the utility company no longer has control over the energy it generates and is instead sent power from homes and businesses? Well, that's where we're at right now. They've been reducing their generation facilities' power output, at least during the day. See, solar energy only works during the day, and with most homeowners not even home when their solar systems are producing power, so they're not even using it, that energy is being sent back to the utility company, and that is creating an imbalance for the utility grid. Because while energy is plentiful during the day, it's not at night. This has led us to a turning point. We either continue on a path of foreign energy and fossil fuels or transition to an infrastructure that's self-reliant, renewable, and built on millions of microgrids. And this is where things get interesting and difficult, but just stay with me. Let's start with what a microgrid is. Basically, any home or business with solar panels and a battery is considered a microgrid. You can be a small utility company, realistically. You generate your own energy from the sun and store it for later with a battery. This is really cool, but there's much more to it than just that. In order for us to build a self-reliant, renewable future, we have to collectively work together. And that's where things get complicated because we need the utilities infrastructure. They've spent decades building it, and the utility company needs to make money to be able to maintain this infrastructure we're using, unless, of course, we develop a safe and reliable method for over-the-air energy transmission. I mean, we kind of have with wireless charging for our phones, but that's just the beginning. We have many more years to working this technology out, and if we can even perfect it for large scale. Now, you might be wondering why we need the infrastructure or utility grid at all if we can generate and store our own energy. And I'm getting to that, but it really has to do with the amenities that we've grown accustomed to. We need much more energy than you actually realize is capable of being stored or generated from your solar system, because your demands are changing and fluctuating, so you're load shifting all the time. But for now, you have a fundamental understanding of the infrastructure that's been built, and I can tell you about my vision for America and the future of solar plus battery storage. And it all starts with the first phase, investing in a solar system for your home or commercial building. We need to get as many homes and commercial buildings to install solar panels as possible. The more solar we have, the more energy we can generate, which in turn, the less we need to buy from foreign sources. It's believed that California could generate enough power for the entire United States in a single day if enough solar was installed. There are a lot of states that are ill-suited for solar panels, and that is why we need the infrastructure to share the solar energy with those states. But that's only one reason, leading into phase 2 of my vision. Investing in battery storage systems for existing and new solar systems. We need to begin the microgrid development, because you're not a microgrid without the ability to store the energy. Now, this phase, unlike the first phase, allows for you to invest in solar and battery storage systems simultaneously. Of course, if you already have a solar system, then you only need to invest in a battery storage system. Batteries are going to play a key part in the development of a microgrid for America, and that leads me into phase 3. We need to be able to share solar and battery energy through the existing utility grid. With millions of homes and commercial buildings having solar and batteries, we can share excess energy generated from the sun with our neighbors and nearby states. We can share our batteries so they can store that excess energy from our neighbors' solar systems being generated, and at night we can do load shifting with these batteries if they're all connected through the same grid and infrastructure. That means we are sharing all this energy being stored and generated. Now, I'm sure I have some non-believers watching, but America could become completely energy independent in less than 20 years' time. And the rabbit hole you think I've taken you down just happens to be a looking glass. This is actually being done today. The California's Public Utilities Commission has laid out the framework for this exact vision. I just happened to summarize it into 3 simple steps, when in fact there are many steps involved. For example, the solar systems we install today and the battery systems we install today have to be smart grid compatible, which means they need to allow the utility company access when we reach that phase for sharing energy, so that way they can manage the excess solar energy in batteries as they do presently with fossil fuels. And California isn't the only state pushing for America to be independent of foreign energy or fossil fuels. In fact, in January of this year, yes, pre-pandemic of 2020, the United States Secretary of Energy, Dan Brulello, laid out a comprehensive program to accelerate the development of next-generation energy storage technologies that would position the United States as a global leader. He went on to say the goal of this program is to, I quote, create and sustain global leadership in energy storage utilization and exports with a secure domestic manufacturing supply chain that is independent of foreign sources of critical materials by 2030. Like I said, this statement was pre-pandemic, and the recent events that have occurred over the last 4 months have only solidified America's need to be free of importing foreign energy. We are an amazing country filled with millions of amazing people that have achieved marvelous things because of our vast differences. And I believe we can all come together to make America a leader in the world of renewable energy. We can build a sustainable way of life now for future generations that every American can be proud of because they're contributing to it. Well, that's it for this week's video. I would love to hear your opinions on the future of energy, and if you agree or disagree with the vision I have for the future in solar and battery storage. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel while you're down there leaving a comment and providing your 2 cents. And of course, if you're someone that lives in our area of Southern California and you're ready to make the switch and be a part of this movement in renewable energy, then visit us online. I put a link in the description below for you, and we'd be happy to provide you with a hassle-free quote. And of course, love to have you as a customer. Thanks again. Until next time.